All right, my friends, welcome back to the channel. Drone Camps has been around since 2014, and we're, 7 years on this YouTube channel doing mostly drones. It is fun when I get something new in that kind of surprises me, that has a little bit of what we call duality. It can do freestyle or it can do cinema. And this one is fun because it is small. You can get the analog version for, I think, around $150, or you can get the DJI Cadex Vista version with the Nebula on there for around $300. So that makes this a really compact little cinema rig. And with the new Insta360 Go on there, it looks awesome. So clear view with HD FPV makes this little guy like really nice to fly. Now, I also PID tuned this for you guys. A lot of times in my reviews, I do some custom PID tuning, and I will put the link down below as a Google document. You can open that up. You can copy my CLI dump for this particular quad. So we're going to go further into the specs, but before I really get started, guys, definitely make a comment on this video down below, and on every video coming up into June, and you will get automatically entered. We are going to do a random drawing on these videos, and we're going to pick one winner. They're going to get the Flywoo Firefly Hexarotor drone here, and you're going to get an Insta360 to go on top. Now, it also includes an Insta360 mount on there. So this is a decased GoPro mount with TBS Crossfire. And you already have a hookup here for any type of decased GoPro. It will hook up to this little plug right here. So super cool, about 400 bucks value going back out to the FPV community. So hopefully that benefits somebody, and you guys have some fun. That's what this channel is all about, having some fun and kind of getting away from the politics of the day or what your life problems might be. I know a lot of people say FPV saved my life. Well, it kind of saved my life in the last 5 years. That's for damn sure. So I appreciate all you guys helping me out on the channel. When you click my link and you buy something, it actually does help me keep the lights on. So today the Micron 2 RS is in the works, and we're going to test this one out in the field. So let's go out together now and let's fly this on 3 and 4S. We'll see how it does, and then we'll come back into the studio on the bench, and I'll talk about this quad a little further in depth, and I'll give you my opinion on the design, the durability, and the layout, and the pros and cons on the Micron 2 RS. Here we go, guys. Let's have some fun. my friends, welcome back from the flight test. This little guy is fun to fly out in the field, and I gotta tell you, my first impression of the flips and rolls were that it didn't have flight controller freak out. That means that the flight controller kind of got too much external forces pushing on it and would have a freak out. So the freestyle characteristics surprised me. The top end of the throttle with an 1106 or actually 1104 type motor is pretty good. Without any action camera on there, you could do some mild freestyle with this quad. So if you're a brand new guy, and this was just say your first quad, it's a little large for your first quad. I always recommend something like the Tiny Go. You can go back and watch my original review of the Tiny Go. This might be a cool second quad. And this one kind of doubles as a freestyle quad, a minimal freestyle quad to learn acro. And then first and foremost, this guy is a cinema rig. You can get 6 to 8 minutes flight time with an 850. I flew even as large as an 1100 on there. And this GMB 1100 actually fits on there quite well. The strap is big enough to accommodate a larger battery. You don't want to put a 1300 4S on here. That would just be overkill. But I also tried a 3S 850, and that one got me somewhere around 6 minutes flight time, just cruising. And if you're a beginner, start out in stability mode, and that will teach you the fundamentals. And start out on 3S. If you feel like there's too much vibes in your quad, a lot of times what I do is I battery down. If you buy a quad and there's a lot of jitter in the camera, try something like a 2S. You can also fly a 2S on this Micron. So the original Micron was only running 2 and 3S, and they had some problems with the ESCs. So this is the newly updated version that brings us 35 amp ESCs, an all-in-one flight controller. It is an F4 flight controller. And I believe it was the TTRC flight controller that's on here. I did open this up and bind up my TBS Crossfire. It also has an HD plug in the back for the CADX Vista, which is cool. So this is an HD flight controller, which is really nice. And if you didn't notice, the new version has an updated LED top plate PCB, which is really interesting because they have their logo embedded in top of the PCB. Let's see if we can see it right in the middle right there. You can kind of see it in gold. That's a pretty cool detail. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bolts on the top. And then there are 4 bolts that go directly through the stack right here, all the way down through the bottom of the Vista. And there are 4 bolts on the very bottom of the Vista. So this one will take a few more bolts to release the flight controller from the middle of these prop guards, if that's what you need to do. However, it's so caged in there that you're probably not going to have to do any type of maintenance on this quad for quite some time. And they're also replaceable prop guards. And I guess they're not ducks so much because they're not solid all the way around. They actually have some breathing room. However, with the foam, it kind of makes them solid for half of the prop guard here. But you can take these foam bumpers off and you can actually have a little bit better flying quad. You also have aircraft aluminum side plates up front here for braces. And I have to say that the durability for the front protection of the camera is pretty high. And with this traditional kind of, zip tie and 3M sticky tape, just kind of zip tied to the top of this frame, this mount came along with the 360 Go 2, which is kind of cool. And check this out, it's tiltable. And the 360 Go 2 has a little bit better lens on it, you can see, and a little bit better stabilized video than the original Go. But the original Go will get you started, so if you get one for free from the channel, that would definitely be cool for your quad. So right-hand circular polarized antenna on a TPU mount as well. It's a little bit bending. You can bring that up a little bit higher. And you're running 700 milliwatt on this Vista on the bottom. So you're gonna get way out there with the TBS Crossfire version and 700 milliwatt on here. That's super cool. I would have liked to see 12 series motors maybe on this. But one of the things that is challenging about a quad this size, hitting the 4S battery spectrum, is that with all that power and such a small prop, with a 2-inch prop, you have really, really powerful motors on 4S, and they're closer to the flight controller. So whenever you get 4S on a small frame, that translates a lot of vibrations to the flight controller. So it has to have a really damn good tune on here to be able to handle any type of high-end throttle. So I was seeing some vibes at the high end of the throttle, and I tried to smooth that out for you guys by reducing the amount of the PIDs. So I came in and reduced some of the numbers for you, and that did definitely drastically smooth out the quad. One of the other things that I had a problem was that my bolt on the side of my camera got loose on this side, and it caused a little more vibration for me in the camera view. So that's one other thing. But I'm gonna put my recommended batteries down there for you guys. And before I let you go, let's go ahead and weigh this little guy. It is way under 250 grams, even with an action camera. Okay, my friends, there she is on the scale. She's 159.8 grams with that Insta360 Go 2 on there, and that's pretty awesome. Let's go ahead and start out with the first battery, the 2S650, and that's gonna get us up to 200, just above 200 grams, 203.8. And we'll do the 850. This is the 3S 850 on there. And that gets us up to 237.5 grams total takeoff weight with the Insta360 Go 2 on there as well. And let's go big. Let's put the 1100 on there and see what it weighs. Right at around just barely above 250. I think you could get away with that as 250, but pretty sweet that you can still get a 4S 850 on there and keep it under 250 grams with a camera. So a very lightweight quad that you do not have to register is pretty freaking sweet. And I gotta tell you, speaking of sweet stuff, I love that they include these velvet bags with HOM FPV. No other company out there does that. I think this is so nice. It just feels good to put your quad in a nice velvet bag. I wish Atomrc and some of these other companies would start doing this. It is something that's kind of unique to HOM FPV, and they just kind of tried to level up things, and a lot of times they are making a nice high quality quad, and it's nice to have this type of bag that goes along with your quad, so it protects your action camera from scratches and the lens on your DJI Vista, Cadex Vista Nebula. You don't want the lens of your quad getting scratched, so that's kind of cool and unique to those guys. So, you know, applause to HOM FPV for sweet bags that go along with their quads. And we've got some extras in the box too. You get some whiskey colored props. These are actually called the whiskey 4-blade props. These are gem fans. So 2 sets of props in the box. You get the packing list, what's included on this particular quad. So F411 AIO with the updated ESCs on here, 35 amp. You get an extra strap here. This is a little bit thicker strap than the micro size strap they have on here. This is typical for much smaller quads. And you get an extra USB cable, and this is a USB-C cable. And I didn't show you earlier, but the port's in the very back. So we're just gonna move that to the side, and that will hook you up to Betaflight. And this has full OSD on here for digital and the analog versions. And I believe the analog version should have around a 800 milliwatt VTX on there. You can check out the links down below. But guys, hopefully you enjoyed my honest review of this one. And it's not perfect, but it's not bad either. And this is nice that they've gone the extra mile to update this one. And if you're looking for the Micron 2 RS, make sure that it has the white ducks prop guards on there, because that is the newly updated one. That's the one you want to get. So if you want to keep it small and have some fun with barely any thing breaking, this thing is a caged beast ready for FPV cinema videos. But thanks again for subscribing on my channel, guys. Stay humble and be kind out there to each other, and put some comments down below to get entered into my contest. It's coming up in June, and I will give it away sometime in June. No date confirmed yet, but we're gonna be pretty busy in June, so I'm just gonna spring it on you one day and let you know who the winner of this little hexacopter and the Insta360 Go, brand new in the box, is one lucky subscriber on my channel. I'll see you on the next one, guys. Take care.